everything you need to know to survive Tokyo DisneySea with a kid. I'm Chris, this is the Curious Princess. We're spending a day at this theme park, and in this video we're going to share with you all the tips, tricks, and mistakes that we made on our day here so you can have an amazing trip when you come. Are you ready, Princess?
Yeah!
So my first tip is if you want to avoid lines, well, you can't avoid them, but if you want to have some of the shortest lines and get in your ride maximization, then definitely consider booking one of the Disney hotels that gives you early access into DisneySea. We stayed at the Hotel Miracosta right here, and so we got this ticket for happy entry, meaning we got in 15 minutes before everybody else that wasn't staying in the hotel, and that might not seem like much, but the lines are crazy to get in. Like, people get here 2-3 hours before the park opens to come in, and so that 15 minutes beforehand, huge difference, because then you can come in the park. The first thing you do when you come in, you open up the Disney app or the Tokyo Disney app, and you get your Premier Access Pass, because you can do it as soon as you go through the gates, but not before. And so we've got ours for the Frozen ride. We did that. That's one of the hardest to get. It's like a paid fast pass. And if you're staying at the Disney hotels, they allow you to buy tickets at the hotel for the day you're coming, and you can only get this like benefit not in your check-in day, but only on the successive days afterwards. And now we're gonna walk and do a first ride that we'll wait for, and then we'll go on the Frozen ride, because we got like an early 9 a.m. Like fast pass for the Frozen. So if you want to start your morning at Fantasy Springs 2, when you go to the gate, you basically just stay to the right, make all the rights. You go to the volcano, you go past the Middle East land, you go past the Little Mermaid land, and when in doubt, just follow the big mom. But there's so many things to the walk on the Frozen ride that the Curious Princess had to stop and look at these pots right here. And of course, everybody walks by a bunch of these rides right here, or shops where people are just waving like they're friendly. Like, hello. They wave and greet the guests as you come in. And here right in front of Fantasy Springs, we see them doing a test of the Magic Carpet ride with nobody on it yet. Okay, after about 10 minutes of walking from the main gate, 9 o'clock, we are at the Fantasy Springs entrance. We are getting close. Princess, who do you see in the waterfall right there? Anna and Elsa in the waterfall. And Anna and Elsa and Peter Pan over there. First up, we're doing Rapunzel's ride. It said 10-minute wait, but it was completely a walk-on. So, Princess, what do you think of the Rapunzel ride? Oh, and now that it's 9:20, official park opening is 9 o'clock, you can see the horse coming into the park much, much, much longer. The wait time at 9:20 for Frozen is now 90 minutes. Next ride is Disney's Peter Pan Adventure. This one, the standby wait was only 10 minutes, and they had to measure the Curious Princess as she came on. The ride minimum for this is 102 centimeters. And interesting, once they measure you here, they put a wristband on the kid's wrist so that they don't have to measure them ever again. Nice touch. So one thing to think about whether you use a Disney Premier Access Pass or the standby line is if you want to enjoy the standby line. Some rides the lines are cool, others they're not. All right, Princess, we just got off Peter Pan. What'd you think?
It was good.
Did you like this better or Rapunzel?
This one.
Why?
Because it was 3D.
3D. And longer too, right? Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of like Pirates of the Caribbean if it was today with 3D goggles and just a different character. Peter Pan instead of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, and the princess, she's wearing her Little Mermaid necklace here that she got from the hotel gift shop. Do you want to show us how that works?
So you open this up. Then put whatever key you want. So you put it in. Go. You turn.
Ooh, and then the Little Mermaid talks. All right, should we go ride the Frozen ride now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so on our way to the Frozen ride, I also want to tell you about another thing you need to get from the app in addition to the Premier Access. There's also this 40th anniversary pass, at least in 2025 while we're here recording this. It's basically another free skip the line. It is a free skip the line pass, but for a different set of rides than the rides that you pay. All right, so make sure you get one of those as soon as you come in, too. So it is now 9:40, and we are now entering the Frozen land. This is the standby line for the Frozen ride. crazy. So I'm super glad that we got the Premier Pass that we're gonna use right now. All right, we're now in the Premier Access line for Frozen. The princess saw a map of Arendelle up there on the wall. At 9:45, the current standby wait time for this ride is 1 hour and 20 minutes. Woof. All right, so we just finished the Frozen ride. Princess, what did you think of this one? Fun. Was this the best one yet? Yeah. But Princess, the whole ride was in Japanese. Did you understand what was going on?
Yes, because I watched the movie.
Yeah. And the one at Disney World in Florida, it's in English, but I legitimately think this ride is better. Definitely, I understand why the lines are so long. All right. Princess says she's hungry, though. You hungry? All right. We're gonna go look for our morning snack. And just behind the Frozen ride, there's the Fantasy Springs hotels. There's 2 new hotels here that DisneySea just built. And so these have their own special entrance into the park. So if you want to get to Fantasy Springs and get on the Frozen ride fastest before anybody, then stay at this hotel. Because we're here super early. It says our food was ready in about 3 minutes at counter 2. Which one's counter 2? Here we go, counter 2. All right, and right here we've got the kids set. It's got meatballs, it's got some apple juice, it's got like a salad, it's got a jelly, a little thing of bread on the side, and we ordered an extra milk. And then for the adult set over here, I got the beef set, which comes with some beef and this thing, and doesn't look very Scandinavian, but hopefully it's good. And we've also got to take home. When you order, you can add some souvenirs. So we got the souvenir Arendelle spoon and fork set because Papa's a sucker. So while we're sitting down for our early lunch and we had our choice of seats, I made my DPA reservations, and so you should make yours too every hour or as soon as your ride window opens for that. But the ride windows aren't the same as the attractions, so if you want to do the shows, then make sure you reserve those too. You can do those at any time. So we reserved Big Band Beat along with Toy Story Midway Mania, and then set your alarm when it's your time to make your next DPA booking. So in my case, it'll be an hour, so I set my alarm for 11:22. All right, now it's time to really eat. All right, Princess, so how do you like your lunch?
I like this, and I don't like this. I like these. I like this.
So you like the milk, the apple juice, the bread, and the jelly, but none of the main courses. Yeah, the tastes are a little unusual. So probably mistake number 1 is, this is Japanese Western food, which are taste the Curious Princess doesn't really know all that much. So if you've got picky kids with Western food, maybe skip the Arendelle restaurant. It's now 10:45 in the morning. The standby wait time for Rapunzel's Lantern Festival is 70 minutes. We are on our way to the Nemo ride that we got the 40th anniversary pass for. And the standby line for Peter Pan is something crazy, too. Yeah, so if you're wondering, is it worthwhile getting up early to get here to the park, or can I get here at 11? Depends if you actually want to ride new rides or not. If you want to ride all the Fantasy Springs rides, then absolutely get here early, because we're done with all of them and the Arendelle lunch all before 11. Because we're walking over to Finding Nemo, let's talk a little bit more about heights to go on rides. The 102 centimeters was what she measured at. The next tier up is 117 centimeters. So that is like Indiana Jones, Raging Spirits. Basically the big adventure roller coaster rides are 117 centimeters. Curious Princess, not quite tall enough at 5 years old. So here's your barometer. I know all kids are different heights, but there's only 3 rides that are in that super tall right here. All right, another pro tip. This is probably unrelated to going with kids, just in general. You're going to be using your phone here a lot at DisneySea to make the reservations, do the mobile order, look at the map. Make sure to bring a battery backup with you to charge your phone, because 2 hours into the park, I'm already down to 60% battery life. All right, we're here at Nemo and Friends. It is in Port Discovery Land, which is like their futuristic marine port. And we're gonna go in here through the priority access entrance. while we're waiting in line to scan our passes, right up here, there's the DisneySea Electric Railway. It's an elevated train that runs around the park, so that's a great one to do if everything's too busy. You want to get a little bit of air conditioning and some sightseeing as you go around. So the Finding Nemo ride is a really large projection motion ride. I've actually never been in a ride that is such a big ride vehicle, and I'm usually prone to motion sickness, but this one and any of the other motion rides have not made me sick yet from the 3D projections. Princess, what do you think of the Nemo ride? There. Just a little wet though. Oh, and it's now 11:23 and my alarm just went off, so it's time to book our next Premier Access Pass. All right, Tower of Terror booked at 2:05 p.m. You know, you might say, Chris, but you live in Anaheim. Why Tower of Terror? Because it's been replaced now by Guardians of the Galaxy in Anaheim. So she hasn't been on the Tower of Terror yet. All right. But she says she's hungry, so ice cream time. Ice cream time?
Yeah!
Ice cream time. Oh, and a restroom tip, if you've got little kiddos, some of the stalls have these little child rest seats that you can put little babies in so they can sit there while you use the potty. Those are for kids from 5 months to 2.5 years old. And for the kiddos that need to go potty, take a look for these. They hang these little kiddie seats up on there. You just take them off the hook, put them on the toilet. Now the kiddos have a nice handle to use. By the way, for the big people, it also does bidet and spray on many of their toilets too. And if you see this in the kids' restroom, put your hand under it. This is supposed to dispense soap in the shape of Mickey if you put your hand right. What's that look like to you?
A Mickey.
There we go, Mickey soap. We got one Mickey and one mini bar. This is peach raspberry flavor, and we've got tropical fruit, 400 yen each. Sorry, Princess, which one do you like better?
This one.
Why?
Because it's cute.
Ooh, yeah, peach is in season right now. Another snack that's pretty unique at DisneySea is the popcorn. No, not just the fact they have popcorn, but the flavors of popcorn right here. They know it's not working right now, but probably a little bit later. They have garlic shrimp popcorn. So take a look at all the different popcorn stands and get your favorite flavor. All right, so now we're walking over to see Big Band Beat at the Broadway Music Theater. This land is roughly themed on New York City, Manhattan. You can see there's a New York deli over there on the left. Now in their New York City land here, they've got this fountain, the New York City Waterworks fountain, which is nicer looking than any water fountain I've ever seen in New York City. I mean, at least from a maintenance perspective, it is so clean and the colors are vibrant. Now, when it comes to shows, in addition to being able to do the Premier Access for the show, you can also try to win the lottery seat for the show. You can only enter one showtime, one showtime for the day. You can't enter multiple showtimes for free. If you don't win the free seats, then you can pay to have a seat. It was 2,500 yen for the Big Band Beat. Or if you bought the vacation pass, which is the super uber expensive way to come in and reserve everything months ahead of time, then you get the best seats. Now, probably by the time you come, the Big Band Beat won't be playing anymore because this ends September 30th of 2025, but something will replace it, and that's just the procedure for the shows. And the theater inside, very reminiscent of Broadway shows. As you come in, it's nice and cool and air conditioned, and when you do buy your tickets or win the entry pass, you'll get actually an assigned seat number. All right, so we just finished the Big Band Beat. We're right outside, and actually you saw Floyd in the back. He was carrying these little booster seats. You can get booster seats. They brought one to us so she can sit a little bit higher. It was like a New York style jazz review, 25-minute show. So what do you think of the show, Princess?
The best show ever.
So what I thought was the most interesting about the show, and just overall being a good show, was the audience, how they just perfectly clap in unison at the beginning. So it's fun to see the show. It's fun for the cultural experience of seeing a show in Japan, and the capacity of that theater, 1,489 seats. Completely full. Oh, a great place to beat the heat with air conditioning or on a rainy day too. Now, if you're coming to DisneySea and you're coming with little kiddos that are just too small to go on any of the rides, and you don't want to get here early in the morning to do all the stuff that we're doing, then you can consider buying the evening ticket. They have tickets for basically just half the day in the late afternoon, early evening. So consider buying those when the line rides are long, but if you don't care because you're just going to take a look at the park. Or it's another great way to do one park in the morning, and then after you've ridden all the rides, about 3 o'clock, then you can head over to the other park. All right, so out in front of the Broadway Theater is the McDuck's shop. This is the home of the Duffy stuffies. Duffy the Disney Bear is the mascot of DisneySea. You might not be familiar with Duffy the Disney Bear, but once you come to DisneySea, you will be, because this bear is everywhere here. You can buy the stuffy Duffies, you can buy clothes for Duffy, you can buy Duffy purses, you can even buy the Duffy ears for boys and for the girls. So with the popularity of Duffy, Duffy's been joined by friends. The girl Duffy, her name is Shelly May. And she comes in a puppet. Probably the most interesting products in the store are the gigantic Duffys and Shelly Mays. These are 53,000 yen. You better bring your own suitcase if you want to bring that one back. The Curious Princess really seems to like this purple bunny though. What's the purple bunny's name? Stella Lou, a Disney friend of Duffy. So if you're not familiar with the story behind Duffy the Disney Bear, it's kind of a giveaway on this sign right here, but the story goes Minnie Mouse made this stuffy for Mickey on his sea voyages, and she presented Duffy to Mickey in a duffel bag, which inspired the name Duffy based on the duffel bag. The subtitle for Duffy the Disney Bear is that he is the bear of happiness and luck. They've even got a whole section of Duffys and friends that are just sleeping. Aww, and the sleepy bunny too. On the food note, if your kids like hot dogs, you will find all American hot dogs right behind McDuck's. All right, next up we've got Toy Story Mania. This is a shooting game where you go pew 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 as you go through, similar to a Disney California Adventure, but this one's in Japanese. Although I will say the overall theming of this ride, much better than the one in California. The line here is also air conditioned too, which is nice, and I love how you get into the little ride vehicles underneath the Tinker Toys. So in this ride, you get 3D glasses and a gun, and then you shoot at the targets right over here. At the end of the ride, they total up your scores, and you can see who won. We both got bunnies. I got a little more points, but the Curious Princess was definitely much more accurate than I was. All right, Princess, so what do you think of Toy Story Midway Mania? Bye. Midday. She's getting tired. So here in August on the overhead speakers, every 15 minutes they have something that says, because it is so hot today, please make sure to rest and get plenty of liquid. So we heeded their suggestion and got a Muscat iced dessert. This is a type of grape. How is the grape icy dessert? Good. So while the Curious Princess is cooling down over here with her Muscat dessert, I've got another pro tip for you. If you're here with multiple parents, the tickets that you need to scan into the app to book all the DPAs and show reservations, you can actually scan into multiple apps. So multiple parents can all have the tickets on their app and can be booking different things at the same time. So if you want to book one ride and a show as soon as you get in, put one on mom's phone and another one on dad's phone, and then you can divide and conquer when you get in the park with all the app stuff that you need to do. And if you got kiddos that still need a nap in the middle of the day, well, if you're staying at one of the hotels around DisneySea, then you can go back there if you're here for 2 nights, or you can find a little bench throughout the park. That's a great place to nap too. There are many benches and many places to sit. The Curious Princess just noticed that 4 boys standing in front of us all were dressed the same. That's another cool part about coming to DisneySea, is all the other people that come here, is that many of the people that come to the park kind of dress up in character. And now in the American Disneylands, they almost actively discourage you from coming in costume, but here it's absolutely part of the visit. So you'll see tons of people dressed up as their favorite characters, dressed up similar together, and of course, dressed up like Duffy and Shelly May. And often bringing their own Duffy and Shelly Mays with them to the park so that they can take pictures with their stuffies in their land. Next up, the Tower of Terror. And this is a ride that also has some really cool theming. It reminds me a little bit of the haunted house at the Disneyland in Anaheim. But it doesn't look like anyone's checked into this hotel for a long time. And in this line, you get a preview of what's to come, the broken elevator. So having been on the California ones, I still thought this one was pretty good because it was themed in a whole different way. I mean, similar up and down drop ride, but different Japanese storyline. Princess, what did you think of this one? Yeah, too scared. That they did make this one extra terrorish. And just next to the Tower of Terror, we were looking at the menu at the Dockside Diner and thought this was interesting. They have a cheeseburger with sausage that comes in a set meal in a bowl with 2 onion rings and a sausage. unique. Next to the Dockside Diner is the SS Columbia. This is a replica of the Queen Mary cruise ship that is in Long Beach, California. This park was originally planned to be built in Long Beach, but Long Beach didn't want it to be built, and so Tokyo said, you know what, build it here. So that's why they built a replica of the ship that was part of the original plans. All right, we're on our way over to the Soaring line now, and who do we see? Pinocchio is out here. Look, there's Geppetto, the guy who made Pinocchio. And here we go. It's me, Pinocchio. Oh, that's not the right one. I meant Pinocchio anyway. And although I've been on this ride in both California and Florida, it's a whole different theming in here too. All right, they're gonna wave us a bon voyage. So the line in this Soaring is themed like an Italian flight museum, and then when you get in, it's the usual flying ride, except you fly around the world. It ends in Tokyo, as it would, of course, in particular Tokyo Disney. Princess, what did you think of Soaring here?
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, she said she thinks we did this one before, which we have at Disneyland, but I felt this one had some cool scents that I don't remember. Like we smelled the grass in this one.
Hey, why does it look kind of bright?
Was it kind of gray? Oh, it's not very bright in here. Oh yeah, she got the bunny from McDuck's. Stella Lou. So for an early dinner, we went to the Casbah food court. This one's kind of Aladdin themed. I got the curry sampler that has beef and shrimp curry, and the Curious Princess has the mild chicken, and under the naan bread, there's rice, and then we got the pudding or custard, milk, and oolong tea. And if you look at the menu and you can't decide what to order, they've got a whole setup like this. That's the replica Japanese plastic foods. By the way, this curry, definitely much more Japanese curry than Indian curry. Overall, I'll say this restaurant seemed to be a bigger hit with the Curious Princess than the Arendelle restaurant. Though she really does enjoy Japanese curry before we came here, so she was used to that. And the pudding, well, that's a hit too. This also seems to be the place where people get in their afternoon nap because it's air conditioned, so it's cold. And also just around the park now, being like about 4 o'clock, I noticed people are walking much, much slower than they were in the morning. Everybody with the heat is kind of dragging on. Nobody wants to see your food in your mouth, princess. And yes, the rest of the land around that food court is themed like the Agrabah marketplace from Aladdin. And yes, complete with a camel that you can ride. Ooh, and he even roars too. Here in the Little Mermaid land, they have white chocolate popcorn, and you'll also notice they talk about this bucket refill. They sell these souvenir buckets, which are all the rage. People bring them back and then get them refilled with popcorn. And some people like their souvenir buckets so much, they'll be carrying 2 or 3 around their necks. Or in the case of the girl on the right, 4 popcorn buckets. And yes, we were suckers and got a souvenir popcorn bucket, the Duffy one, for 3,000 yen with the white chocolate popcorn. It opens up this way so you don't spill when you get the popcorn. How is the white chocolate popcorn? Good. And while we didn't get time to ride these in the Little Mermaid land, there's a bunch of kiddie rides. There's a flying flounders, flying fish coaster, and kind of like an indoor kiddie play area too. And next up, we're going to see Dreams take flight at the hangar, but before that, we ran into a monkey over here. Hello, monkey. What's funny about these characters is sometimes they pull people for photo ops. I don't know, what Disney character is this monkey? This theater is not as elaborate as the last one. This one is inside an old aircraft hangar, but this is the newest show at DisneySea at the time I'm making this video. All right, so we just finished the show. 25 minutes, great for short attention spans. This one, an original storyline, roughly centered around fixing a plane and having it fly, where Minnie takes off at the end. But they wrapped in a bunch of Disney princesses in there. We saw Moana and Mulan. The Curious Princess was singing all the songs, even though she never heard them before. Some of them were pretty catchy, though some of them were classics. Princess, did you like this one better or the Big Band Beat better?
Good.
Both good.
Same.
2 thumbs up. Now that we finished that show, it's about 6 o'clock, and the crowds definitely start to thin out about 6 o'clock. We're just by, I'm going to turn the camera around, the Nemo and Friends SeaRider, which had a long line earlier in the day, but as you can see, it's just a walk-on right now. So it's another thing to consider. If you just come for the nighttime, for the evening time, you might not be able to get on the A-tier rides like Frozen, but you can get on the B-tier rides just by walking right on. As we wind down the day and walk over to the exit, one of the things I also find interesting is how much people wave around here. Like, you've probably seen the staff members waving, but also like the people here that are like riding the trains or riding the boats, they'll wave, and other guests will wave back, and people will do that at other Disney parks, but like way more here than anywhere else. And we didn't see this earlier, but they've got some gondolas that are out, and there's some people waving. Wave back. All right, very nice. Thanks for the wave. And the final few pro tips as we wind down the day is to don't overdo it. Like, yes, DisneySea is open many hours of the day. We're leaving at 6:15 to have some energy left in the tank and still survive the day. If you want to see all of DisneySea, you're going to need at least 2 days. There's that many rides and shows, so if you're a true Disney fan, allocate a second day to the park. Also, we didn't bring a stroller or rent a stroller, but there are stroller rentals that you can rent here at the front if you didn't bring one with you. Oh, and if you got a bunch of stuff and you don't want to carry it around all day, you will find a whole bank of storage lockers just by the front entrances, too. They are 500 yen, open and close once. All right, Princess, what was your favorite thing today at DisneySea?
The flying ride.
The flying ride? Soaring was your favorite? You like that better than the Frozen ride? Yeah, all right. Now we know.
And I also like the Big Band feet.
Fellow explorers, if your travels are bringing you to Tokyo, you might enjoy some of our other Tokyo videos. You'll find links there on the screen to our Tokyo playlist, also in the description below. And as usual, we won't say goodbye because we'll say...
We'll see you in the next video. Disneyland!